My name is Dawn Hughes, and I'm the new Booktrib Book Club coordinator. We're here today with Mae Bunseng Taing and his son James Taing to talk about their book Under the NAGA Tail. It's the true story of Mae's daring escape from Cambodia's genocidal regime. Under the NAGA Tail is one of the books taking part in Booktrib's Book Club program for July. Thank you both so much for taking time out of your schedule to answer a few questions for us.
Thanks.
James,
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
of course, absolutely. I'm very excited to read the book. It sounds fascinating. James, I know you co-wrote the book together, but if you could tell us something about the book that we wouldn't read on the jacket cover, obviously without spoilers, but something that, is interesting to readers that maybe they wouldn't read about on the jacket cover.
I think there's two things that are very unique to this story, as much as it's about a survival of genocide that took place in the 1970s, often called the Second Holocaust. This story follows up in a sort of a displacement of refugees that takes place afterwards from that genocide. And there's a bit of history that it captures my father, Mae, who gets caught up in that. And of all things, the United States took a lot of attention and focus to go and help alleviate the problems of the refugees. This is very rare, given that our country had lost the war and had the Vietnam War. And usually when a country loses war, they flee and leave and retreat. But the United States did something quite unprecedented, which was to help refugees at that time. And parts of this story kind of have that. That's a core of the story, is a tribute really to an American legacy that has been highly, highly overlooked there. The other part is readers will find, like, especially as they read through the beginning of the book, how actually modern and similar Cambodia was to, the West, or the way we all grew up. My father did similar things like play soccer, basketball. He used to watch Bruce Lee movies and Western movies in the movie theater. So in this story, the French had often called, it's not in there, but the French had often called Cambodia like the pearl of the Orient, the pearl of Asia, sorry. And this was to one up Hong Kong's designation by the British as the pearl of the Orient. And so it just speaks to the high praise and just like how highly looked it was by the world. And if it hadn't gone through this terrible moment in history, who knows what Cambodia could have been like today. And so that should leave readers with a sense of sort of awe, and just like it gives significant weight to what they're reading there.
Wow, if I wasn't already intrigued, I'm excited to read the book for sure now. Thank you. That was great. What would you say is the key message that you hope readers take away from the story? I feel like hope must be one of them. Hope and
Yes.
and the importance of determination and survival.
Yes, I think one of them is that we're always going to deal with something, and that's one of the inspirational messages that my father and I took as we wanted to tell this story, is that despite the lumps we're going to have in our lives, we all have the capacity to really overcome and triumph over that. And the strength of ourselves is much greater than we actually think. And when we're put to the test, like any bit of hope can really help us overcome and prevail over that. I think this story also teaches how to live on razor's edge. Like my father had lived a story of being just like impossible odds and surviving through that. So this should be inspirational and uplifting to so many people wherever they are in their experience in their life at the moment.
I can imagine it would be, for sure. Mae, this is such a personal story for you, and thank you for sharing it. I think that's just so wonderful. And I can see how important it is to you and your son to tell this story. Why do you think this book is such a great selection for book clubs? What do you hope they take away from it?
Well, I think this book is very important. It's one of the really important histories that happened over 40 years ago. And that people should read and learn about what happened. And maybe a lot of people think that, wow, it's only happened in Cambodia. It's not going to be happen to anywhere else. But thing repeat itself. It's keep happening. So I just hope people to read it and we should be aware about it, and that it can be happen anywhere in the country again. So that's what I say is important book to read about it. Yeah.
And
I think-
such an important book to facilitate discussion. Sorry, James, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, I think on the same lines, we're seeing in the world kind of like similar polarization shaking out, East, West, Russia, China, US. That was happening in the Cold War period in the 70s. And so war and conflict is unfortunately becoming more of something that is becoming more of a presence here. And so we think that this story sheds light and gives us lessons learned and a lens to like how to think through what we're going through today. That's both at a geopolitical level, but also like for us, like how do we grapple and deal and analyze like the things we're doing, and the things we're encountering. It's sort of like a very similar, global time period again.
Right. Mae, was it difficult for you to tap into these memories and this story to write this book with your son?
Well, when I first stepped in this country, I always want to tell the story to the world. We have not just my story and thousands of millions of people that happened in Cambodia. But yes, when I start doing the story with my sons, and the story is getting harder to do than I thought it's easy to do. Yes, it did hard to do the story. That's why it takes us so long to get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited to read it. Is there anything else you want to share before we have to wrap up our time? I know we only have a couple of minutes, but is there anything that you want to say? I want to give you kind of the stage if you need it.
There's also a film documentary that we had also made, and that's a good companion to the film that can be watched. If anybody wants to actually find some introductory material, they can watch the film. It's called Ghost Mountain. If they type in Ghost Mountain PBS on Google, they'll be able to watch it. It's 40 minutes long. And it had won an award at the Houston Appy Film Festival, and we came in third when we premiered it in our artist category, short film docs. And it's also been segmented in C-SPAN. So it's a good little short bite as to like the breadth exactly of the film, of the story. And the book takes it even further there. So that should, if anybody's looking to pique their interest beforehand.
Fabulous. Thank you for that. I'm going to take a look at that film right away, actually. I want to thank you both again for taking time to talk with us. I'm sure the readers are going to just love this book, and I can't wait to read it myself. Readers, for more information about Mae and James's book, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website. Good luck to you both.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.